All right, welcome back, everyone. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Titans season two. You can find that streaming on HBO Max. Yeah, I just finished. Literally, just shut off the TV and finished watching the last episode of the season. And let me tell you know what? Let's start out with the positives. Let's try to start off with the positives. Hey, I remember a critique from last season for me was why didn't they just cast a Bruce Wayne? And they did, and it was great. It might have actually been overused in this season, but that was cool. Um, got some cool new characters. A lot of new characters. Yeah. All right, but seriously, just I am just gonna say this right off the bat. If you're not like, don't go out of your way to watch the show. It's not great. It went down quite a bit for me, so we'll get into all the spoilers and stuff. So I just wanted to give a spoiler warning, say that first, and let's get into kind of my critiques of this fun show. Yeah. So big thing I remember saying at the end of season one and the end of my review was season two is really gonna make or break this show for me because I thought season one did it actually did a pretty good job of setting up the world and the characters and the stakes and overall like it really focused on Rachel and Dick and like really expanded on theirs and then you had Gar who's Beast Boy and Starfire kind of in there too and then your side characters like Hawk and Dove and Donna Troy and it worked and Jason Todd you had Jason Todd in there as well so there were a lot of characters but I think because it really focused down on the relationship between Dick Grayson and Rachel it really worked in a way that was surprising with all those characters. Um, this season did not do that. First off, I want to say that as soon as I saw Trigon was a one episode and just a super easy boom done out of the way, it was like, did you run out of money for season one? Is that what happened? Because it was such a waste of my time. It's like if you're gonna set up a villain to be that bad, it seems like it was probably a budgetary issue, and they just couldn't get episode 11 out for season one, so they only released it with 10 episodes, which is like just delay the release and release the entire season instead of like stringing people along and then like one episode and Trigon gone done absolutely over he an otherworldly threat that's this like demon lord that's come to like destroy the world seems like he deserves more than I would say even just one season to finish up like he very easily could have been you know uh, a series spanning villain that like maybe they ran into his cult season one and they said like that was the whole thing. It was just like them dealing with his followers, and I think that would have been cool. But like if you're gonna bring him out, then give him the space he deserves to be evil and like actually like bring like stakes to the world. I don't think that's a good villain to start with, but it's not my show. So let's see. So yeah, that was cool. And then this season almost, I don't even know what, like, I don't want to blame the writers or even the directors for this because I don't know who's involved behind the scenes, but someone is definitely involved behind the scenes and like is basically just throwing everything out the window of storytelling. Like they did not care, and I'm using that I'm using that instead of other words I would like to be using for this. They did not care at all for any form of storytelling in this season. All they cared about was, wow, isn't this cool? It's like a little kid reading all these comics and writing a fanfic about it, and like just like and you see, and now the Superboy, he's in, and Crypto, and we're gonna throw in these bad guys and this person and that person, and it's like, you didn't give any time to develop anyone, any of the characters. Yeah, this is gonna be a big rant. So, just starting off with the characters, like they introduced Aqualad, who's dead, but they spent an entire episode in the past introducing him just to kill him off, which is like, oh, okay, we kind of already got the sense of what was happening and that he was dead. We didn't need a whole episode for you to show us that he's dead. We got it. Slade killed him. That's what broke up the Titans. Good to know. Then you've got Superboy and Crypto who come in, and honestly, like, I think they actually, for him, did an okay job of introducing his character, but it was already on top of Rose, who is Slade's daughter. I don't know what her actual superhero name is. I'd have to look that up again. I remember looking it up. And then you've also still got the 5 main characters, I would say, which is Starfire, Rachel, Gar, Jason Todd, and Dick. And you've got Hawk and Dove, and you've got Donna. And it's like you're throwing on so many characters and expecting us to relate to them. It's like they could have spent this whole season with the 5, who I would consider the 5 main characters, and just spent this season developing their relationship, because that's kind of what needed to happen. Like, at the end of season 1, which I'm going to kind of consider the first episode, like, Dick was kind of putting together a new Titans, and their relationship was never, like, Dick and Rachel had a great relationship, and Gar was in there too, and like Starfire was here and there, but like they needed time to actually like spend storytelling time to develop their character relationships with each other, instead of just assuming their relationships. And it, like, the whole season was like them, like, everyone constantly butting heads against each other, and they kind of came together in the end over nothing. Like, they split up, and then they got back together, and then they split up, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, that's kind of going to go into my next point, which is plot. This season was chaos incarnate in storytelling. I don't even know how... I don't think I've ever seen this many plots attempted to be thrown in to make the plot complex, with completely failing at that in every way. We had Slade, we had Cadmus Labs or whatever, we had, you know, stuff going on with Dick in his head, we had all these side plots and stories going on, and like background of like, oh, Slade did this to us, and we used Slade's son and this and that, and it's like, stop. Focus on one story you want to tell, and tell that story well, rather than throwing in a bunch of different plot threads that, you know, are just there to like fluff out your story. Like, the reason a lot of I want to say the reason that the Disney Plus shows for Marvel are doing really well, in my opinion, is because they have, this is the story we're going to tell, and this is how we're going to tell it. And it might be they have better support systems behind the scenes of, you know, like, it seems like they've got like kind of like more budget to work with and can, spend more time developing the story and stuff like that rather than just plopping out a season for that doesn't feel like it is complete at all. Yeah. I mean, they kind of threw the Cadmus Labs thing in, like, out of the blue, too, with... I mean, that could have been set up easily for future season stuff, but it was like, oh, we're the Titans split up so that we can capture Connor and Gar and go ahead and brainwash them so that we can have a cool, crazy season finale of them fighting Slade, and then they have to fight their own friends, and yeah. No. I mean, like, literally both of those plot points came to an end in, like, 28 minutes, because I checked. I was like, how much of the episode is left? It's got to be almost over if they're ending the Cadmus Lab stuff. Oh, there's still 15 minutes left of the episode? Great. That's awesome. It's like they gave Slade, like, 10 minutes. That was it. That was his final fight. And I'm sorry, he's pretty big. You could have definitely had him span more than 10 minutes of screen time in the last episode, and that was the battle. And it was like, Dick's like, don't worry, I got this. It's like, okay. Why didn't you have Slade beating up all the Titans instead of he's shooting them at him, and then Dick shows up, and then Dick wins because Rose shows up, and she gets revenge, and I'm sorry, it's really, really dumb. This show went from, like, a potential, like, I would say, like, B-A ranking to me to probably, like, a D. Like, it had a lot of potential, and they, like, just tossed that out the window. And, yeah. Oh, yeah, and one thing, so, some big spoilers for the end. Well, I'm going to do the smaller thing first, which isn't really a spoiler that much, but, Crypto the dog is showing up in the season with Connor, and I was like, cool. That's actually, I kind of like the dog a lot. And so, like, Connor gets, like, attacked so many times as they're chasing after him, like, just episode after episode. It's like, I think they capture him. Oh no, they capture Crypto, and then Crypto gets away because the scientist lets her out or something, like lets him out. I don't remember. Point being, like, he gets captured, gets uncaptured, gets recaptured, and it's like, come on. But they do the finale with Connor and Gar being brainwashed, and I was like, towards the end of the episode, I was like, so they saved Connor and Gar. Where's Crypto? Like, did they just leave him at Cadmus Labs and that's just how it is? No, he shows up in the final scene for like 2 seconds without any explanation. Cool. Yeah. All right, last big thing, and this is a big spoiler, and also something that made me the most angry, which is after all of this is done, after everything is over and said and done, they have this ride at the amusement park that they were fighting at. It starts to fall, and Dawn is in the area. She's trying to pull people out, and she's gonna get crushed by this thing. And so Donna runs up and stops it and dies. And I'm not even kidding you. That is basically what, like, it's literally like a minute of, like, she's like, she's getting shot by lightning and stuff like that, and then she's just dead. No villains involved, no nothing. It just randomly falls, and she throws it off, and then she just collapses on top of it, and she's dead. And I was literally sitting on my couch, and I was like, are you serious right now? Is she really dead? And then they do this whole, like, really sad, like, operatic music and stuff like that in the background. And it's like, you didn't earn any feelings for this. You basically just killed her because reasons. I don't know. Maybe she didn't want to be in season 3, but like if she doesn't want to be in season 3, write her character out of the story in some way. Have her go off and do something else. You really don't need all the characters you have already. Why did you kill her? Yeah. That one was just like that was the point that it dropped. Like at that like I actually had been like, okay, like this is not good. It's really not good. But at least it's like kind of silly and fun and like it's a little bit more of like a I just want to sit down and watch a fun action show. And then that point the writer in me was like, "Nah, man, this is bad. This is really bad." Like and they do all these like emotional speeches and stuff too and it's like you haven't earned any of this. You have done no setup. You have done no like character development at all this entire season. And you expect me to feel sad that we lost Donna Troy out of nowhere? Literally, I think I laughed. I literally was like laughing to myself. So, yeah, let's just say not a great show. Definitely do not recommend if if you like it, like there are some fun parts about it. I'm just more disappointed than anything else. And I'm sure they're going to release season 3 because they already set up for it. And I'm sure there's enough people watching it that they'll get a season 3. But I have zero faith that season 3 will be any better. I actually think it'll probably make it worse. So we'll see. We'll see when it comes out. You know, I've been wrong before. Shows have bounced back, but I wouldn't count on it. So that's going to be the end for this one. It went a little long, but that's because I had to rant a lot about a lot of stuff. So I don't get a rant very often because a lot of stuff I read or watch is usually doesn't have this much to pick apart very obviously. But if you like the video, be sure to like it down below and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and I really appreciate it. And of course, if you have different opinions or you also want to rant, comment down below. Let's talk about it. I'm actually interested to know what other people think. I genuinely like to hear from people on the channel and subscribers and stuff like that because it really does like give me insight into different opinions. So that's going to be it for this one, everyone, and I hope to see you all next time.